Take a look at this. This is going to save your family so much money. Look at that. Look at that. How soft that is and that bounce back. Oh my gracious. Look at this. Today we're going to make a delicious white sandwich bread recipe. It's actually our French bread recipe, but I've kind of kicked it up a notch. So I've changed and added a few things, and we're going to do some fun stuff with this. So here we go. Now what we've been doing lately has been a huge blessing. We're making one and sharing one. So you're already going through the process and the time and the care to make this. We're going to go ahead and make it for our family, and then we're also going to share one with another family or someone in need. So let's talk about that. What we're going to do is we're going to make our traditional French bread recipe, but I've changed it just a little bit, and then we're going to make some savory bread loaves and then some cinnamon sugar loaves. So what you're going to need are some simple things. We've got our bread flour, our organic bread flour, our yeast, some salt, our maple syrup, and some warm water. Simple things. If you don't have maple syrup, that's okay. You can use honey or you can use sugar. It is entirely up to you. We're just trying to use less processed sugars. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and take our 2.5 cups of warm water and put it in our mixing bowl.
What is warm water?
Warm water is so that it's not too cold and not too hot. It is just right.
Just like Goldilocks.
Just like Goldilocks. So you don't want, if it's too hot, it will kill your yeast. If it's too cold, it will take a really long time for that yeast to grow. So we're gonna take our maple syrup, and I love to measure with my heart. So I'm just gonna pour this in here just like that.
About how much?
It's about a tablespoon or two. It's honestly just whatever.
About two-ish.
It's basically a little sweetener to make the yeast do what it needs to do. So now we need our yeast. We need a tablespoon of yeast.
Dry active
yeast. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead, before we add our salt, we're going to go ahead and put our flour in here. Oops, I'm making a mess. And I kind of fluff it up so it's not such a heavy cup. So we got 1, 2, 3, and I can't say anything else because I'll lose count. 4, 5. All right, I'm going to start with just 6, okay?
6 cups of bread flour.
6 cups of bread flour. And then we're going to give this a mix in our mix. Oh, sorry. I'm going to add my salt. You can't forget the salt. So 1.5 tablespoons of salt. That's an eyeball too. If you want to use less salt, you are welcome to. That is just what I have found works
for good flavor.
For good flavor, yes. Put our dough hook on there. Mix that up. Turn this on. We're not going to kick this up super high because we don't want it all over the camera or all over the kitchen or all over my face. Just until it gets mixed. You can do this by hand, totally by hand. I actually have a Dutch whisk I like to use, but we're doing this on the quick. We're gonna let this go for about 5 to 10 minutes so that it gets nice and incorporated. All right, whoops, I forgot. Half a stick of butter. Softened butter at this point is the perfect time to add it because it really incorporates really nicely in that bread.
So it's after it's been mixing about a minute or two?
Yes, after it's been mixing a minute or two, we're just gonna dump our softened butter in there, and we're gonna let it do its thing for another 5 or 10 minutes. Or for 5 or 6 more minutes. So this has been going for about 5 minutes, and it is not quite ready. It needs more flour. So we've done our autolyse or autolyse, whatever the term is, so that the flour is hydrated. But we need more flour. It doesn't have enough. So 6 or 7 cups.
How do you know what is enough?
Well, it's too sticky, for one, and it's falling down. It's not holding together.
So it needs to be not sticky, but not a brick either.
Correct. So we're going to add just a little bit of flour, about 1/2 cup right now, and let that do its thing. And then we're going to add a little bit more if we need to.
So little by little.
Little by little. Too much flour and you will have a brick. Okay, so you can see in here how it's just kind of falling still a little bit. So, and it's still really shiny. It's still really sticky. We're gonna add just another half a cup of flour. It has changed consistency since adding that first half, or the other half of a cup. And the flour, adding the flour depends on your weather. If it's too humid in your area, you're going to have to add more flour. If you live in a dry, arid place, you need to add less flour. That's why we don't add all of it all in at once. All right, so take a look at this. You see how it's kind of holding itself together? We are ready to take this out and put it onto the counter and knead it just a little bit. So I'm gonna put some flour, as the fan takes it away.
I'm your biggest fan.
All right. All right, so we're gonna just swipe that off of there. We don't wanna lose any of that precious dough. Now, scrape this out. Just wanna make sure we get it all, that's all. And I mean, you can see the consistency of it is really nice and smooth. It's just a little sticky still, but not bad. It's not really super sticky.
It's like those oddly satisfying videos.
Yeah. See here, you can see now, this is not sticky like it was, where it was sticking to my hand. So we're just gonna take this, fold it over, and just make it a little bit more smooth.
Can you show that slow? Because I know a lot of people have a trick.
Sorry. Everybody needs their dough differently. This is the way I learned how it works easily for me. So I basically take it, fold it over, press it down. Take it, fold it over, and turn it at the same time.
That's also aerating it too.
Yes, and that resistance on the counter is actually helping to stretch the gluten in there too, to make it smoother.
So flip, push, turn.
Yep. And so it's scraping, and you know, there's a lot of people who do these slap and folds and all that stuff. That's great for sourdough. We're not doing sourdough today. It's sticking to the counter a little bit.
Almost there.
Yep. So this is pretty much ready to go. Okay, it's nice and smooth. You can see how smooth that is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna pull it on the counter just for a little bit more resistance.
Look at that. Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's right.
I love it.
All right, we're gonna put this in a greased bowl and cover it. I actually use a plastic shower curtain, or no, not shower curtain.
Shower curtain.
A plastic shower cap. It's so much easier just to put this on there and not have to worry about it. So we'll put this into a grease bowl and we'll let this sit for 30 minutes, and then we'll be able to shape it and put it in our loaf pans, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so what I like to do is just spray some grease in there. I know it's not good for you. It's not normal. It's for that little bit at all, and that little bit for there, just so it keeps it from sticking, keeps it from drying out. Again, keeps it from drying out. Isn't that pretty?
There's your shower cap.
So the bread won't even touch this shower cap. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, plastic. No, the bread won't even touch this. It's just to keep the moisture in. And so we're gonna let this sit for 30 minutes, and then we will shape this and put it into our loaf pans. All right, so we've waited our time. There, it worked. So we're gonna take this, and very carefully, we're not gonna mess with it a lot. We're just gonna put a little bit of flour on here. Watch it fly all over the place. Perfect. I'm just gonna plop this down here. We're not gonna knock this down. I don't like doing that. It always makes it more difficult to work the dough the way I want. The more you mess with it, the harder it is to deal with. So I basically just cut it in half. I don't weigh it, I eyeball it. And then I'm just gonna take this, stretch it out just a little bit, fold it to the center, and then roll it. I don't do a lot to it. Okay. Now we're gonna spray our pans. We're gonna place this in here, just like that. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Stretch it out, make a rectangle, Fold it to the centers and then just roll it. Pinch the ends and then kind of pull it along to stretch it to make it nice and smooth. Okay, set it in there. We're gonna cover this with some plastic and leave this for about a half an hour until it just comes above the top of the pan, and then we're gonna bake it at 375 for 30 minutes. Okay, now for our sugar cinnamon loaf, which is my husband's favorite. He will devour one of these in a day or two. So
it's unhealthy. I love it.
it is an unhealthy addiction. So we're just gonna spread this out into a rectangle, just like so. Nothing fancy. Don't need any fancy tools. Don't even need a spoon. We're gonna just use some brown sugar here. Not a lot. You can use whatever sugar you want. I just happen to have brown sugar here.
Maybe a little bit more, honey. Just kidding.
Oh, then it'll leak everywhere.
Leaking is good. Leaking makes caramel.
Aye, aye, aye. All right, then our cinnamon. And I've got it stuck to my hands. Isn't that great?
How about how much you're using there?
Measure with your heart. If you like more cinnamon, add more cinnamon. If you like less cinnamon, add less cinnamon. If you want raisins, add raisins. If you want nuts, these are toasted pecans. If you want, you know what? I think I want one of these with toasted pecans.
I do. I think that's great. Here, I'll open the raisins for you.
No. That's heresy. You can't have that. No, raisins. No, they're no.
Ah,
I can't stand raisins.
I love raisins.
All right, there's our pecans.
This is going to be excellent, actually.
It's going to be really good. Actually, listen to that. Like I've never done it before. All right, now since I'm facing this side, I was gonna roll from this side, but I'm gonna do it from this side because it's easier. Very carefully, you're gonna roll this and kind of tuck it like a cinnamon roll. Gosh, look at this.
Or like somersaults in PE.
Oh, gross. Oh, look we're losing our
You're losing your nuts, Mom.
Trying not to say that.
Your nuts.
Come on now. Now, carefully. I'm gonna pinch these ends here.
Pinch that.
Pinch the ends.
Pinch it.
So that the gooiness doesn't come out.
You don't want escaping goo.
No gooiness escapage. Carefully put it in the pan. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mess.
And you've already greased that down.
I did already grease that pan, yes.
Okay.
All right, pecans. Now.
There we go, there's one down.
Okay, so this one.
Make one, share one.
We are making one, sharing one, so we're gonna do it again. If you missed the first part, I'm gonna spread this out just a little bit because honestly, the more layers you can have, the better. So
it kind of soaks it in.
Well, no, there's just more layers.
And more gooiness.
And more gooiness.
Let's make sure we add lots of that.
Don't put it on the dough.
What are you doing? So you kind of square it up there.
Kind of square it up, but I don't have any flour on, or the counter is just not sticky enough. That's okay.
So spreading it out will help it kind of get through the whole thing.
Yes, spreading it out, the more rolls you can roll, the better. Okay. Ooh, there's a bubble in there.
Bubbles make for delicious pockets.
Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier, measure with your heart. Just kind of mix that in there. I think I'll just throw the rest of the pecans on this one.
Yeah.
There's not as many as the other one, but there's enough. I gotta pop that bubble. It's bugging me. There.
My goodness.
It was gonna make a big bubble once you put it in the pan.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Roll this in, tuck the edges. Oh, don't lose that pecan. There's not many of them.
And then you kind of pinch it.
Pinch the ends, yeah.
Pinch it closed. And you kind of put that down when it goes in the pan?
Yes, I put the seam side down.
That way it looks pretty on the top?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I will give it a little tuck here.
It's like a gigantic cinnamon nutty burrito.
It is a big cinnamon nutty burrito. Okay, now we're gonna let these rise for about 30 minutes till they come up just above the top of the pan, but cover them with a plastic or a wet tea towel Plastic's easier because then you don't have to wash the tea towel. So, all right, you see how nice and fluffy they are. Oh my gosh, these are perfect. These are ready to go in the oven. Look at that, it even rose after I took the plastic off a little bit. So we're just gonna leave these as they are. Try not to tap them. We're gonna put them in a 375-degree oven for 30 minutes. Now it's oven time. Here we go. Look at these. They're so beautiful.
Nice loaves, baby.
Put them in the oven. Careful not to tap them. We're gonna bake these two right now and let the others rise for a few minutes more. Oh, squeaky oven. 30 minutes at 375 degrees. All right, these loaves are ready. We're gonna turn off that timer. Look at that. Oh, gracious, look at those.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
All right.
Look at the height on that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah. All right,
Nice.
we're gonna take them out of the pan right away. And since we greased the pan,
Not a
they'll
problem.
slide right out.
Look at that.
And you give it a little thump. Hear that?
Why are you thumping?
You thump to make sure that it's done. When you hear that hollow sound, you know that it's cooked all the way through.
Take a look at that. Gorgeous.
Yep.
And the bread isn't bad either.
Ha ha ha. All right, now for our cinnamon roll, our cinnamon loaves. They are ready to go in. Don't forget, make one, share one. You're already going through it. Might as well make another one for a friend or a family in need. 30 minutes at 375. All right, now for the cinnamon loaves. Oh, that's loud. Look at those. Oh my gracious. All right. You can see some of the brown sugar that was left on top there. Let's
Popping out. Love it.
Look at that. Stayed nice and closed. There's a little bit of leaking there, but not a problem. Look at that right there. I know what's in that spot.
I want that part.
I know you do. I know you do. Hear that hollowness? That means it's done on the inside.
How long do you have to let them cool?
How long are you supposed to let them cool, or how long will my husband let them cool?
Two different things.
Yeah, exactly. You should let them cool for at least an hour before cutting them. Otherwise, they get really gummy. But I think in probably 5 minutes, he'll probably tear into this.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Take a look at this. This is going to save your family so much money. Look at that. Look at that. How soft that is, and that bounce back. Oh my gracious. Look at this. All right, now for the cinnamon bread. Oh my gracious. You can see that this part didn't get closed up very well, and it's a little oozy. Oh, it's still a little warm. It's hot. All right, there we go. See how it gets a little gummy? But look at that. All those layers. Oh my gracious. This one, I'm not sharing this one.
No. Whoa.
No, this one's mine. All right, so there it is, folks. Make your own bread at home from scratch with minimal ingredients, healthy ingredients. You don't want to waste this beautiful gift that you can give your family. You can also give to a friend or someone in need. So make one for your family and share one.